European Union countries that secretly offer citizenship by exception. As a high net worth or ultra high net worth individual, this is more for the ultra high net worth individuals, those who are worth over 20, 30 million US dollars, and you want to get a European Union passport. Whether you're a US citizen that wants to renounce US citizenship on an amazing passport, or you want to have access to the European Union to live anywhere in Europe, or you see a future in Europe, maybe for your children to live and study in Europe, whatever your reason is, you can get European citizenship through exception. The most well-known program out of all of these is Austria, with an investment of roughly, because it depends. You first nominate yourself after you make the investment, and then you wait for an approval or a rejection. It's around 5 to 8 million euros invested into the Austrian economy, whether that's real estate or in funds, or you start a company in Austria, you hire people in Austria. It depends what kind of investment you will make. It's case by case basis. Every single one of these programs, every single citizenship by exception program is case by case. They don't take hundreds of people, they don't take thousands of people. It depends on your profile. Obviously, you need to be squeaky clean in terms of criminal record. They will check source of funds for every single program, and you have to be very careful. But Austria is definitely possible. If you want to get an EU passport without donating, although there are heavy fees inside of this program, this is definitely possible. Austria does not allow for dual citizenship, but for individuals issued citizenship by merit, there is a law that allows for an exception on the dual citizenship restrictions, so you can keep your original nationality. Let's say you're a US citizen or Canadian or from Asia or from Latin America and you want to get access to the EU, you can keep your original citizenship while also becoming an Austrian citizen. And the great thing about this is you don't need to live in Austria, and you can get it much faster than, for example, the Portugal Golden Visa, which takes you 5 to 7 years to get that citizenship. This could be issued in a couple of months. Another country that also has a citizenship by exception law is Germany. Now, Germany isn't as explicit with their citizenship by exception, or if you want to call it citizenship by investment, but it's really not, because citizenship by investment is when you give money to a country and you're guaranteed a passport. None of these countries are by investment because you're never guaranteed the citizenship. There are due diligence checks. They make sure that you're of good reputation because you will be representing the country later on. You have to have a good reputation, so the country has to have a good reputation. So it's case by case. But you can make an investment into Germany. You can start a large business in Germany. You can have real estate investments in Germany. You can hire people in Germany. You can invest into funds or buy government bonds, or overall have a large investment, usually a multi-million-dollar investment into Germany, and then become a German citizen in as little as a couple of months in some cases. And you are allowed to keep your other citizenship because now Germany has relaxed their dual nationality restrictions, so you can get naturalized as a German citizen easily. And it's important to know that all of these citizenships are by naturalization. You're officially naturalized because of your contributions to the country. The same thing in Austria, the same thing in Germany, and the same thing also in Slovakia. Slovakia also has citizenship by exception. If you start a business, if you Google, for example, the requirements to start a business, it will say if you start a business and then invest $100 million into this business or hire over 100 people in Slovakia, but usually those requirements are not that high. We're not talking about investing $100 million into your business. We're more talking about investing a couple million into your business, into hiring not 100 people, but 5 or 10 people. You're bringing enough value to the country that it merits you to become a citizen. How the process goes in every single one of these countries, just like, for example, in the UAE, you can get UAE citizenship by exception or by merit. They're usually approved by the highest level of government, or at least by the Ministry of Interior, after reviewing your application. So this isn't just you pay someone and you get your citizenship issued. No, this is a formal process under a legal procedure. How it works is, at first, usually you will get some sort of pre-approval. So you pre-apply and you show your CV, resume, your business history, your investments in other countries. If you have multiple citizenships or you already got citizenship by investment in a country, you need to show all your citizenships. Obviously, squeaky clean criminal record wherever you're from and wherever you've been living in the last 10 years. You show all of those documents, and then you get a pre-decision, a pre-approval, where they tell you, most likely, you will be approved. It's not guaranteed, because it's up to the highest levels of government, and there's no guarantee that you'll be approved in any way. In any citizenship by exception program, there is no guarantee, because there can always be an issue. They can always find some bankruptcy. They can always decide to reject you for any reason. Obviously, they will give you your money back. You can pull out of those investments. In the case of Austria, if you invested 8 million euros into Austria, you can always pull out of those investments. If you get rejected, it's going to be a tough process, but if you really want to commit to this country, you really want to invest into that country, it's definitely possible. Once you get this pre-approval, let's say 95% chance you're going to be approved, then you make your investment, whether that's starting a business and depositing 10 million into it, whether that's buying property for 5 million euros, whatever the investment is, you make it. Once the investment is made, once all your documents are compiled, you then are nominated officially by an agent or by a lawyer. For example, we have great contacts in the European Union countries where I'm mentioning here, Austria, Germany, and Slovakia. To formally nominate you, you need to be nominated by a lawyer. Obviously, all documents need to be translated. In the case of Austria and Germany, to German. In the case of Slovakia, to Slovakian language. They need to be translated and submitted to the government. And then the approval process starts. The due diligence starts. Central Intelligence checks your application. The same way in Serbia, intelligence checks your application, the government checks your application, and make sure that you're going to contribute to the country. Make sure that you are a clean person. That's not going to harm the reputation of the country. And after a couple of months, in some cases 3, in some cases 6, in some cases 12, you get your decision. And as I said, there's no guarantee of approval, but in most cases, if you passed the pre-approval, you will also pass the approval. And once you have the approval of citizenship, where you have a citizenship certificate, then a couple of days later, you can just go and pick up your passport because you're already a citizen of the country. You have your citizenship certificate, you have all your documents proving that you are now a new naturalized citizen of the European country, and then you go to the passport office and you just go like everybody else to pick up your passport and your EU ID. I personally am currently under one of these programs as an official agent for promotion of one of these countries. I don't have $30 to $50 million, so I cannot invest 8 or 10 million euros yet. Later, when crypto prices go up, when my investments go higher. But for now, I've applied as an official promotion agent of the country. So if you see me promoting a country and talking a lot about it over the next couple of months on the main YouTube channel, then you will know, okay, he got approved for citizenship in that country as an official tourism and promotion agent. That is how I'm applying. And obviously, if you want to find out which country it is, you can book a call with us and we'll tell you one-on-one as a client, or I'll mention it here on the YouTube channel. Look, I got approved for citizenship and it is possible to get it. It takes this much. It's obviously a tough process. I had to provide a lot of documentation, a lot of papers, but this is something that I'm really interested in, is to become an EU citizen by exception, not by naturalization, which is my goal. If you want to see other programs around the world that are only available for the ultra rich, exclusive citizenship programs only available to you, you can check them out right here. Exclusive passport programs for the ultra rich, you can find out right here.